Welcome to our puppet show of Kip Kennedy's great book, Pirate Pete's Talk Like a Pirate.
Pirate Pete had the most amazing ship ever to sail the high seas, but he needed a crew. Not any old crew would do, however.
I needs me a pirate crew, and I know just where to find one. Rascal Island. To Rascal Island we go.
Pete spun the wheel toward the Sea of Mischief, and soon his speedy ship had reached Rascal Island. Pete ordered his parrot to drop anchor in the bay. Then Pete hung a sign across the ship's bow. Buccaneers wanted. Before long, a boat filled with rascals rowed up to the ship. Pete rubbed his hands with glee. They were the dirtiest, most mischievous, and sneakiest looking scallywags and scurvy dogs he'd ever laid his eye on. One by one, the rascals climbed aboard the ship.
Listen up, mateys. If you wants to sail with Pete, then you've got to prove you got what it takes.
Pete nodded.
He needs a peg leg and an old eye patch, a fierce-looking hook, and a beard he can scratch. You got to load a cannon and know how to fire it. But most of all, you got to talk like a pirate.
A rascal stepped forward, loaded the cannon, and fired it.
Nice firing. And I see you got a peg leg, hook, and eye patch. And that beard of yours, does it hanker for a scratch?
It is quite itchy, especially during the summer when the weather tends to be sultry.
Blow me down! You don't talk like a pirate! Walk the plank!
Pete looked overboard at the rascal treading water in the briny blue sea.
You should have said, when the sun's a-blazing, me beard gets the itches. Worse than a bucket of sand down me britches. Next!
Pete squinted at the rest of the rascals.
You got to be stubborn and mighty cranky. You got to be dirty and awfully stanky. You got to load a cannon and know how to fire it. But most of all, you got to talk like a pirate.
A rascal stepped forward, loaded the cannon, and fired it.
Nice firing! And I see that you're plenty dirty and stanky. But is ye stubborn and cranky? Oh, indeed. Sometimes I'm very irritable, especially when I don't eat my breakfast. Shiver me timbers! Ye don't talk like a pirate! Walk the plank!
Pete looked down at both rascals in the sea.
Ye should have said, as mean as a shark that's stuck in a tub when I've not scarfed me morning grub. Next!
Pete glared at the remaining rascals.
You got to love treasure. Why, it's your duty to plunder ship and shore for gleaming booty. You got to load a cannon and know how to fire it. But most of all, You got to talk like a pirate.
A rascal stepped forward, loaded the cannon, and fired it.
Nice firing! And judging from the gold and rubies you're flaunting, I reckon you've done some plundering in your day.
That is correct. I've misappropriated a number of fine jewels without permission.
Blimey! You don't talk like a pirate! Walk the plank!
Pete looked down at three rascals treading water in the briny blue sea.
You should have said, I've pilfered loot on land and at sea, and no man's say-so has ever stopped me. Next!
Pete had finally lost his patience. He curled up his lip and glared at the last rascal.
You gots to trim the sails and mind the deck. You gots to be brave in case of shipwreck. You gots to load a cannon and know how to fire it. But most of all, you gots to talk like a pirate.
The rascal walked forward, loaded the cannon, and fired it.
Nice firing. But is ye brave? 'Cause no lily-livered seafarer is gonna sail with me.
I can assure you that I am extremely courageous. I will conduct myself with valor at all times.
Confound it! Ye don't talk like a pirate! Walk the plank!
Pete shook his fist at the rascals as they swam toward their rowboat.
You should have said, I've not a yellow-bellied bone from me head to me toes. I'll stand brave upon this ship where'er she goes. Can ye believe it? Out of all them rascals, not a one was fit for me crew. Ah! 'Tis true. By the powers, there's no more than a bunch of squiffies and sprogs. None of them fit to go a swashbuckling and plundering for pieces of eight upon the briny blue on this here vessel.
Pete blinked.
Why, ye talk just like a pirate. You're all the crew I needs. Weigh anchor. Ah! Aye, aye.
So off they sailed. Back to the high seas went Pete and his bird. A pirate always gets the last word. They looked for a crew so they could hire it. But blimey, none could talk like a pirate.